Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena stand. For this session, we will be looking at SELFIE, a diagnostic tool developed by the European Commission to help you discover your school's digital potential. Up today, we have Deirdre Hodson, who is a policy officer at the European Commission, alongside Pan Campilis, who is a policy analyst at the European Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, Deirdre and Pan.
Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the arena today. For the next 20 minutes, we will share the story of SELFIE, a project we both have been leading for the past few years. We are delighted to be here with people from all over the world. We come from different countries. In our case, Deirdre is from Ireland, I am from Greece. But all of us, we have in common an interest in teaching, learning, and technology. Another thing we have in common is that we are not able to see ourselves, our face. We can see one another, but not our own face. We can see our face only in a mirror or in a reflection. And the reflection is very key in the project that we are going to present. Because through SELFIE, the project we are going to present, school communities can reflect on the use of technology for teaching and learning. And through this shared and critical reflection, they can try to improve and they can create a plan and they can see how they can go further. And actually, what they can do is to move the discussion from what technology to use, why to use it, where they stand, where they want to go, and how they can achieve this better use of technology. So, SELFIE is a European tool funded by the Erasmus Plus project. We have developed SELFIE with thousands of teachers, school leaders, and experts from all over Europe. And through this project, any school in the world can sign up and use it, primary, secondary, or vocational school, in any of the 22 available languages. And what is important that we will explain in a second is that this tool is customizable, it's free of cost, and can help the school communities to understand better how they can make the most of digital technologies for teaching and learning.
So what we'd like to do today is to talk you through 4 different areas. We want to talk you through the why of SELFIE. So why was it that we started this project in the first place? How does it work? Very important. And what the uptake has been and the feedback since we launched SELFIE in October 2018. And then, very importantly, how your school can use SELFIE. So a little bit of the backstory. So Pan and myself work at the European Commission, and we bring together the ministries of education from EU countries and our partner countries on a regular basis. Some of them I can see here today. And, you know, our systems are very different, how we run our education systems in Europe. Some systems are more centralized, some are run on a regional basis. But, you know, wherever our schools are, whatever our system, we're facing very, very similar challenges when it comes to digital education. I think a key question that we're all holding is how we can prepare our learners for life in this very changing era that we're living in, an era of very rapid and complex digital change. So no matter where your school is, whether it's in Greece or Ireland, whether it's in Portugal or in Sweden, these challenges are very similar. Another question we hold is how to make sure that digital transformation is inclusive, that everybody can take advantage of the benefits and opportunities of digital change, wherever they come from, whether they're in an urban area or a rural area, whatever their age, their gender, or their background. And we have a problem in Europe. We have very low levels of digital skills. This is a major issue for us because we know that our labour markets are changing rapidly. We know that in the future, the digital skills will be needed across so many sectors of the economy, of course, the ICT industry, but beyond that, in retail, in construction, in so many different areas. And right now, we do have a problem with 43% of Europeans lacking even basic digital skills. And we hear this, the myth of the digital natives as well. I mean, young people are growing up surrounded by technology, but oftentimes they're using it for leisure and for consumption, for entertainment. But how can we make sure that our young people can become critical and creative users of technologies? So labour market is crucial, rapidly changing labour market, but this is also a bigger societal challenge as well. The recent ICILS study showed that we have a real problem when it comes to students' ability to be able to critically assess what they see online. We also know another shared challenge is more training is needed. Teachers in Europe are looking for more training. OECD TALIS survey last year showed us that training in the pedagogical use of technologies was listed in the top 3 of training needs of teachers.
As we said earlier, we have developed SELFIE in collaboration with many people, experts, researchers, teachers, students, and school leaders. So, a few years ago, we developed first the conceptual model where we define what does it mean for educational organization, a school, a college, or a university, to be digitally competent. And this model goes quite holistic, looking not only on infrastructure, but also on teaching and learning practices, on assessment practices, and so on. And then this conceptual model had a very good uptake. Many countries translated it and started using it for policy-making purposes. But also made clear that they wanted to have something more practical, something that translates the theory into a practical tool that schools can use in order to understand better where they stand with the use of technology. That's why, in collaboration with ministries of education, experts, and stakeholder organizations, we started designing a tool that can translate this conceptual model into something very practical for schools. And from the very beginning, we tried to analyze existing tools, to organize workshops with experts involved in the development of similar tools, to do what the literature says. So SELFIE is a tool that is based on a lot of research and theory. And as I said earlier, it was very important that for the outset, we had school leaders, teachers, and students involved in this process of designing the tool together. Not designing a tool for them, but with them. So, when I analyzed the existing tools, we found that in most of the cases, they take the input from school leaders or school leaders and teachers, but they leave students outside of this process. In SELFIE, from the very beginning, we wanted to involve also students because we speak about the use of technologies for teaching and learning, and the learners have to have a very strong voice in this process.
And it was also really important for us that we designed SELFIE with all schools in mind. We didn't want to design a tool that was just for the schools that were very comfortable with technology use and maybe further on in that journey. We wanted any school to be able to use it, whatever their size and wherever they were located. And what was really vital for us is also to have flexibility built into the tool. We know that no 2 schools in Europe are the same. In fact, even in a small village, if you have different schools, are going to be different. So flexibility was really a key design principle for us. And that's why SELFIE has a set of core or common questions for everybody who uses SELFIE, but we also have a lot of optional questions that you can drag and drop into the tool. For example, if your school has a bring your own device policy. And interestingly, we think that's where SELFIE is a bit different to other tools that we saw out there, was that you can add your own questions. A school can add up to 10 questions of their own. Another thing that was important for us, we know that schools are under a lot of pressure. They have a lot of reporting requirements, a lot of surveys to complete, and we didn't want SELFIE to be another survey. We really wanted to design something where the results could be used immediately for the school. We know that infrastructure varies from school to school, so we wanted to make SELFIE very light to run. It could be used on any device, a mobile, any browser, and as Pan said earlier, it's free of charge. So we were ready in 2017 to run a pilot. We had an early version of SELFIE, and in fact, our original plan was to run the pilot in 4 countries, But we had such interest in the countries that we work with, we ended up piloting in 14 countries in 650 schools, which was fantastic for us because we got a lot of feedback. We were able to simplify the questions. We rewrote the questions for the 9 to 11-year-olds. So we improved on the beta. We were ready for a full launch. At the time, it was in 24 languages. I don't know if there's anyone here from Poland. We actually launched SELFIE at a school in Poland. It felt like the best place, actually, to launch a tool which is designed for schools. So we went to a high school, Lise Hoffmanowa in Warsaw, and we had a launch event there, which the students were very much involved in that event. So that was October 2018.
So, we talked a bit about the design principles, but let's now see how the tool works. The first thing is that the school is to adapt the tool to their own needs, because, as I said at the beginning, the tool is customizable. The schools can even add their own questions there. And as soon as they have the tool as they like it, they collect the information from school leaders, teachers, and students, and then automatically they have the results in a very graphic and interactive way, and then they can discuss these results. And it's up to them to decide what they can improve, what they want to change, what is feasible and what is not. And then they can repeat the exercise. So next year, next time that they will run SELFIE, they can see the improvements or the needs to adapt their change. As we said earlier, the tool is based on a very solid theoretical background that is the conceptual model that is holistic. That's why also in the tool, the questions are grouped in 6 areas, looking not only on infrastructure, but also on teaching and learning practices, digital competence of students, professional development, and so on. And let's see how the questions look like. All the questions have the same more or less structure. They can be answered in a very simple 5-point scale. And what is very important also to emphasize here is that the participation of school leaders, teachers, and students is always on an anonymous basis, in order to be free to provide their opinions and experiences. So, the school receives, after this data collection period, the results that looks like this. They can group and see the results by user group, by area, and so on. And the results can be used for planning because they can see the high score, low scores. They can see, for instance, a big difference in the viewpoints of the 3 different groups. And also, through this reflection, they can reply to key questions, what they want to improve, where they stand, where they want to go.
So we launched in October 2018, and what's the uptake so far? Well, we're really, really pleased with the uptake from schools. We've had over 6,000 schools worldwide. We now have 32 different language versions. We have schools mainly in Europe using SELFIE, but it's open to any school anywhere in the world. Our most recent language we added was Icelandic. We also have a Georgian version, Serbian version, so you can find all those different language versions on our website. And what's nice as well is SELFIE is actually much more than a tool. We see that more and more there's a growing community around SELFIE. With the Spanish Ministry of Education, we went to Madrid last April and we held our first SELFIE forum where we brought together 200 school leaders, teachers, students, policymakers to discuss how the tool is being used. And what was really nice there is that we actually had the event opened by a 15-year-old girl from Ireland, and we had lots of students from local schools in Madrid join us there, because students have plenty of views on how technology is being used to support their learning. We're also working hand in hand with the ministries of education. Many of them are running training programs linked to SELFIE, like in Serbia, where they've trained 3,000 teachers. In Andalusia, they're linking SELFIE to their digital strategy. Flanders and Belgium have produced a series of videos to support schools using the tool. So tremendous uptake and support. And we get very good feedback as well from the schools. 8 out of 10 school leaders and teachers would recommend SELFIE to one of their peers. And here's just some feedback from different countries. From Estonia, they appreciated how the results were presented in a very visual, well-structured way. Cyprus, the students felt involved and took ownership of the decisions. From Greece, students are happy with their computer classes, thanks to the changes. we received after the SELFIE report, and Italy, clearer goals, and we addressed different viewpoints that we saw coming through in those reports. And just a word from Sean, who's a teacher, a school leader in a small village in the west of Ireland, on how they're using SELFIE.
My name is Sean Gallagher and I'm the principal of Attimas National School. There are plenty tools that you can use to prompt questions. The most effective one that we came across was a SELFIE online tool that has been developed in Europe by the Joint Research Centre. It poses a series of reflection questions to the school leader, to the teachers and to the students. We completed the questionnaire, I completed it as school leader, the teachers completed the questionnaire, and the students in 4th class, 5th class and 6th class also completed it. Some of the findings surprised us. For example, the students thought we were using technology quite a lot. The teachers felt we were using it very little. It also it made consensus a little bit easier because it prompted us into having detailed discussions about it.
So, if you are interested to use SELFIE, how you can do it? The first thing is to sign up in our platform. It's free of cost, as I said earlier. You can easily register your school whenever you want without any requirement. And then you provide some basic information about the size of the school and so on. Then you set up the questions, adding your own questions in order to make the tool fit for your own context. And then you have to distribute the links to the school leaders, teachers, and students of your own school. And this should be done outside the platform. Because, as we said earlier, the participation is totally on an anonymous basis. For students, we suggest schools to do it, to fill in the questionnaires in the school in a class hour. And then only the school has access to the results. Only the school can see what was the feedback from this exercise. And then they can use these results in order to discuss within the school community and plan for improve some of these aspects. Again, they can repeat the process whenever they want in order to see if they have something to adapt or if they want to change something more and so on. We provide also to the schools open badges that say that they take part in this self-reflection process, and school leaders, teachers and students with certificates.
So, to sum up, a key message from this presentation is that critical reflection is key when it comes to embedding technology into teaching and learning. There's a very ancient Greek expression, know thyself. What is it?
Gnosis avton.
Okay, know thyself. And we think it's really important for a school to know where they're at in terms of technology use. Technology is just a means to an end. We need to stay focused on the pedagogical goals. But after this reflection, there needs to be more. There also needs to be action. You know, we think SELFIE is a great starting point for a school to plan and to improve. But that planning process is really important. So we're a very small team, but we've plenty of plans for the SELFIE tool. We're working all the time to improve the usability. We constantly get feedback from our users, adding new features. We work as well adding new languages. As we said, we're up to 32 language versions. We're going to also work on guidelines for schools who've used the SELFIE tool. So I've done SELFIE, I have those data and insights. Where can I go from there? How can I develop a digital learning strategy for my school? We want to raise awareness of the tool as well. And we're also working this year on a version of SELFIE for work-based learning too. And we're really pleased that we actually have 10 cross-border projects in our Erasmus Plus program that are going to use SELFIE for innovative teaching and learning. And our goal this year is to reach 1 million users. So SELFIE isn't alone. SELFIE also has siblings. We have a sister project we're working on. Some of you may have heard of the Digital Competence Framework for Educators, where we map what it means to have digital skills as an educator. And we're developing a self-assessment tool for teachers that we will be piloting and publishing later this year. So we've talked you through a little bit about the origins of SELFIE, why. We really hope that you sign up, that your school gives it a try. We think that it could be a really good way to get to know how your school is using technology, where the strengths and the weaknesses are. You know, this is an ongoing journey, and we think that SELFIE can play an important role there. So we're a very small team. We have a very small but welcoming stand. You'll find us at SU20. We're very close to the Connect at BETT cafe when you come out of here and you turn right. And we'd really like to meet you there. We're happy to give you a demo of SELFIE, to answer any questions that you have. And if you're using SELFIE, we'd really appreciate if you could share your story at selfie_EU. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deirdre and Pan. That was a very, very insightful session. It's great to see the European Commission doing such fantastic work, and SELFIE is such a fitting name. We will be back